everyone, Kuro the Artist here. It's been a while, so I have some nice updates for you. But first, let me introduce today's episode. This episode of Ben 10 is centered around Zombozo using a circus as a front so that he can steal his audience's energy to gain more power using a special clown-themed machine. He's aided by the circus freak trio to help do his bidding. While Ben at first had a successful brawl in the outside parking lot using Upgrade to possess surrounding machinery, he ultimately defeats Zombozo by scaring him off with one of his aliens that has special off-screen horrors hidden from the audience, releasing that energy back to those it belonged to. If you haven't caught on by now, it's bar for bar the classic series episode Last Laugh with a fresh coat of paint. We have had recurring villains before with their signature motifs, like Dr. Animo usually having a mutation-based plotline, or the Forever Knights are after another special alien artifact, so a villain having a shtick and then sticking to it is nothing to be surprised about. But with Zombozo, the two episodes where he's the main villain unfolds the exact same way. If you've seen one of them, you've seen both. Granted, Zombozo does switch it up a bit here by making a zombie clown army, but his goal, motivation, execution, and defeat are so similar, it almost feels like his Omniverse episode is a full-on parody of the classic series one. Even Ben himself can recognize this, and is practically sleepwalking through the episode knowing that it's the exact same thing all over again.
Hello, it can only mean one thing. It begins with Z and ends with O. Zombozo, I know you're here. I already know, Grandpa. It's Zombozo. You're slacking off, Zombozo. It's like you're not even trying.
This episode also kicks off the Galactic Monsters arc, which is a whole topic in of itself, but I feel that's best saved for an episode more relevant to the arc. This episode does technically count, and it is the first one to introduce the new Galactic Monsters theme, but beyond just the branding, this isn't exactly part of the Inner System bunker situation which this arc is known for, which happens later in the season. So stick around as I open up this episode, but if this is your first breakdown and you're curious about how my rating system works, there's a detailed description down below, along with a link to all my previous breakdowns, but by all means watch this video first. I'm sure you'll still enjoy it. So like I said, it's been a while, so where have I been? Well, working on 5YL and Beyond, of course. We just dropped a ton of teaser videos and behind the scenes on our channel, which I'll link down below, along with a celebratory live stream I did with the Tank talking about the production of these projects in great detail. We're showing off a lot of cool stuff, so if you missed it, go check those out and leave us a comment on what you think. These projects are still going to be our main focus for the rest of the year, so while the hiatus is coming to an end, we still may not have a fixed upload schedule. So make sure you're following us on all of our social medias in order to stay up to date on what we're doing. And speaking of following us on social media, we are now on Blue Sky, which you can find in our link tree down below. And lastly, as we're entering a new era of 5YL and Beyond, we are looking for more wiki development team members. If you're interested in helping develop the 5YL wiki and all of its supernatural extraterrestrial glory, please join the Discord server down below and reach out to a wiki mod, and we'll see if you're a good fit for the team. And now, on to the episode. The first episode of 2014 that aired was on February 15th, penned by Charlotte Fullerton, titled Something Zombozo This Way Comes. Ben and Rook's 2 weeks of peace is broken by Zombozo unfolding yet another circus. As a horde of zombie clowns start to roam the streets of Bellwood, Ben must defeat Zombozo once more in order to save the citizens above and below the surface. Back into Bellwood. Wow. I always loved this opening shot because we get to finally see the aliens and humans interacting in the surface world. It's actually kind of strange we waited this long to really see this, because I feel like they set all of this up, like humans and aliens living together, after the Frogs of War, like in season 3, and then we went all through season 4 with all that albedo stuff, and like only now are we getting the payoff for it.
Also, this is just a really nice suburban area, which we don't see a whole lot. This makes me actually believe that Bellwood is near New York.
There you go, man. Join the cult.
Ben's dog that never returns.
2 whole weeks. Everything is just fine and boring.
2 weeks since an attack. You'd think that'd be a good thing.
The tower of chili fries looks so good, actually.
Do you think they sold this, or they bought like 6 orders and just stacked them all up?
That's the Ben Tennyson combo. That's his regular that they make only for him.
Oh, I just noticed there's even beans in the chili.
That's correct, chili.
Is it not a good thing for there to be no universe-threatening disasters for a change?
Fuck no, baby!
Are you sure this thing is gonna do the trick?
Okay, so here's his new layer, this big old head.
Is that supposed to be the original machine?
No, the original machine was like this weird, like, tube, bottle shaped.
Looks like a big old hookah.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless they're just trying to say, like, oh, this is what it looked like back in Classic.
Fucking Celestial Sapiens.
He's got a nice little pillow for him, though. It does already, just by this shot, look like they're trying to hark back to Zombozo's creepy nature from the last laugh, but, like, we already saw him in the More Things Change and Special Delivery still being, like, the goofy Joker ripoff, so it's kind of hard to backtrack this far in. He is skinnier, though.
He's a lot more decrepit right here.
Yeah, the boss don't look so good.
Did they get everybody back? I know they got Cree Summers back.
Looks like we got somebody who wants to see the show without buying a ticket. Get it through your thick head already, thumbskull.
I'm pretty sure that's not the original Thumbskull.
Oh yeah, it's David K now. It used to be Jeff Duchette, or Def Duchette.
I don't know what you are, but I'm gonna tear you apart. No, you don't. Didn't I just say that?
They've always had D as acid breath.
Who do you think taught me in the first place? But thanks to that brat Ben Tennyson.
I hate New Thumbskull so much. That is so unsettling that all his fingers are fused together and have a nail for the fucking knuckle.
It's not even like, oh, that's gross, so that's a cool design choice, like what I advocate for some aliens. This is just gross because it looks bad.
The nail, like, crown coming off of his head, I could forgive. I like the original, how he has the elongated head.
Because he's Thumb Skull, you know, not I'm Thumb Man, Mr. Thumb Guys over here.
This is him trying to be Spy Kid's Thumb.
Get it through your thick head already.
Her new design, it's okay. I like the slick rope-like hair. I feel like segmenting them into ponytails sort of disturbs like the Medusa ocean of hair. And I don't really care for the outfit either.
Is it just like a black slim top with bands? I honestly can't tell with this lighting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be just exposed. I'm looking at her model art now.
It doesn't work as well for me.
She also looks too cute. Like in the original series, I thought she was like late 30s, early 40s or something.
What's ironic is if they are shooting for her to be younger in this version, in the reboot, she is a child. So they just keep...
Is she just de-aging?
She's turning into Monster Girl from Invincible. Every time she lets her hair down, she de-ages by a single day.
That's why she's the leader of the Nuevo Circus Freaks in the future, because she's the only one that still has youthful energy. All the others are just freaking old.
Zombozo feeds on fear.
I thought he fed on happiness. Roll the clip of Max.
He steals people's happiness until there's nothing left.
Yeah, that's the exact opposite of what they said last time.
That's a straight retcon, or the fact they were like, the last laugh was one episode. No one's gonna remember or care.
They say happiness, and then they say positive energy.
And drain their positive energy like a sponge at a pool party.
Neither one of those are fear. So either he changed his power set, or this is a full-on retcon. What did he do in Hit 'Em Where They Live? Did he even... his motivation was just revenge, right? Like, he didn't have, like, a whole plan?
Yeah. He didn't do anything. He didn't have powers or anything.
Thanks
Full
to
character.
that brat Ben Tennyson.
Acid Breath, I feel like I mind the least, but I don't like how they got the unibrow thing looking on him.
Is this supposed to be eyebrows on him?
I thought it was, like, hair, too, but now it's got, like, that brow energy. And he used to have, like, that swaying, like, lean, weird, gross, old man, lanky energy, and now he looks like a Muppet.
I'll give them all something to fear.
Yeah, this would have been cool if we didn't see him, like, goofing around already. Like, this could have been a sick return. Okay, so we do got the new Galactic Monsters theme. I'm gonna save analyzing the intro for the next breakdown so I can dive deep into it, but we can just enjoy it for now.
Zombozo came back, and he'll have the last laugh. Ben 10. Chili fried Jenga?
It's good to see him on their downtime, hanging out and everything. Whoa! You fucked up, Ben. The green highlight on the clouds is neat.
Unusual creepy music we're having.
They can hear that music?
It's a giant hookah making clouds in the sky.
You know what would be epic? Billions teaming up with Albedo!
No, it wouldn't,
How would
Ben.
that...
Come
no.
on.
Maybe the incursions are back to try to blow up the Earth?
Why would that? Oh,
Ben.
come on. That was like months of
That
terror.
just happened.
Yeah. He's kind of overdoing a little bit. Maybe it's coming from a perspective of he's so confident he could beat them that he's just excited about the challenge, but even so, it's weird to hear. Also, if he really wanted to, he could just go galactic, start fighting bad guys and stuff, right? Like, he doesn't have to stay on Earth.
A whole bunch of evil alien X's plotting to take over every dimension at once!
That would be kind of cool, but there's no way he would win against that.
How about a rogue Waybad returning to seek revenge on me?
The Waybads aren't that smart, though.
He's talking about fighting a Waybad. He's just reaching for a challenge at this point.
True.
Populace is most assuredly being drawn towards its source.
See, even Ben's disappointed that Zombozo's back. Like, in universe, they realize this sucks.
I feel like they shouldn't have showed them pulling up to the circus if they want this bawump bit to work. It should have been them driving, bawump, and then it reveals the circus.
You're getting really good at your shot compositions now.
I do storyboarding and animatics now, so I
check out And Beyond the Movie coming out later this year.
A circus randomly shows up. It can only mean one thing. It begins with Z and ends with O.
I am glad that he is just straight up saying it, though. They're not like, oh, who could it be? That I do appreciate.
I assume he probably does this every couple months, considering how Zombozo just kind of lanks around Bellwood.
Oh my god, he keeps opening up a bunch of shell companies, like trying to start a new circus.
It's a circus every time, but it's new companies every time.
Yeah, he's like, they won't get me this time.
He's taken out so many bank loans and opened like 9 LLCs in the last 6 months alone. Wait, go back to the big crowd shot and zoom in. Because we noticed last night the crowd was drawn really goofy in the original series, and I want to see what they look like in this. That's a lot more detailed than what they did in the original series.
Yeah, they got the color, they got a glow effect.
One Mr. Herbert J. Zamboni is currently a resident of the detention level of our own Earth HQ.
Which gets broken out of all the time.
It's just a villain hotel at this point. Like, they stay a couple nights and then just leave when they want.
Go blend in with the audience so you can keep an eye on the show. Zombozo's got to be here.
Because of your fear of clowns. You do not wish to stay.
Even though he got over it when he was 10.
Pretty clever, you scaring away your fear like that.
Oh, that's a good look for you. You're no fun anymore.
I've never been afraid of clowns.
Is that 5.5-year-old Gwen?
I don't think so.
Green eyes and the ginger.
You know what? I mean, I never thought it was, but maybe it could be. I don't think so, but maybe it could be. It looks like her arm is behind this layer when it's supposed to be on top based on the way her collar looks, but it has to be behind due to the way that the balloon comes out from behind them. So
it's like the collar is just part of the arm animation.
Yeah. The collar should have been part of the body. That's just the same scream over and over, right?
Yeah.
It looks like Sandra's got a weird error going on here too, because this is like the seat, right? It looks like she's outside of the car.
It's on the very corner. No one's gonna notice.
I noticed.
What if you know your son is afraid of clowns?
Yeah, Sandra's just fucking with him now.
You know what? Some parents do that. Parents wanted to buy me a Chucky doll when I was a kid because I was terrified of those movies.
Would you terrorize your child a little bit?
Depends on what they're afraid of. If it's like something dumb like clowns, maybe.
You gotta have a little fun with them.
Okay, that actually got me.
That was a pretty good one.
That was good. I didn't realize what it was until last second.
It barely holds on it. Like, it completes for like one frame and then cuts away. I do appreciate how all the flashbacks were before he was 10. So like maybe they are trying to say like, yeah, he did get over his fear of clowns.
That is what I read in your file.
How often do you read my file?
I mean, I'm obsessed with checking the Ben 10 wiki, so I read his file all the time.
I'm afraid of peacocks.
That's true. He did say that.
I'm scared of peacocks!
And I kind of wish there was establishment in some way. I don't know what. Like the clown thing. That's an irrational fear from when he was a kid he got over. That makes sense. The peacocks, I almost kind of wish there was a reason, or at least just a said reason. Because him just being afraid of peacocks when he can turn into so many fucking actually terrifying things. Why?
It is very strange. And like the fact he's so confident about it too, it kind of makes you wonder, is he even really afraid of peacocks either? Or is he just like assigning himself that personality trait for the sake of it? Pay it off. Maybe like the new version of the Clown could have had like a form where like the pipes or machine plates or whatever could spread out to look like a peacock feather, and he sees that. That'd be another way to like make him afraid of Zombozo without revisiting the clown thing, and then he can overcome that fear.
I have never been to a circus.
Knock yourself out. Zombozo.
See, why was that not a peacock?
Rob, why would it be a peacock? They're in the middle of downtown Bellwood.
It could be just part of the circus act. I don't know. They could like, oh, here's the peacock segment.
They should have done this at a zoo.
Huh?
Thought a bear could ride a unicycle.
That sounded like the sound effect that they use for Wild Mutt.
Was it everything you thought it was going to be?
We don't get a lot of variants of Rook. This is my least favorite.
They won't let this man wear a normal shirt, but they'll dress him up like a clown.
Oh, they had face painting. Good for you.
He takes one step forward and all of a sudden he's like...
They're in a different spot completely.
Yeah, Rook can teleport now. That's a large ass stride you have right there, Rook. Oh, and he's look, red on his
it's such little details that make it.
I forgot. Do they get bit and then they just spawn these costumes, or do they dress up? I forgot how this works.
They get bit by the teeth and then the stuff spawns on them.
It's got to be magic based then or something.
I'm still convinced that Zombozo is like a Ledger Domain person.
He did a lot of like magic stuff in Last Laugh. He was like teleporting. He had
hallucinations.
Yeah, hallucination. Had super strength at one point when he was fighting Wild Mutt. Like he's definitely some form of a magic user monster, it seems. So maybe this is more of an enchantment than an infection.
I think that him and Darkstar are very similar. They both feed on energy, they both can manipulate mana. Zombozo feeds on energy from people, from living things. That would be mana.
It'd be cool if they tied those together. Going back to the emotional vampire line, each one of them could have like some type of emotion they feed after, like Zombozo's is happiness, or I guess now fear. Darkstar's could have been lust, and just build off of that, like emotional vampires. That could have been a whole thing. At first I was like, damn, he just got shot point blank, but it was a goof.
Definitely has to be magic then, because it's changing how his proto tool works.
I'm convinced this is full on magic.
You're not just a sad clown, zombie clown!
Red shoes rather than just like the fronts. And now he's upgrade outside the circus, just like the last laugh. Look how freaking built he is here.
Dude,
My
every
God.
Omniverse alien is made of beef. Like, that's...
This is like super overdone though. Like even in other episodes, like I never liked when Omniverse adds like knees and elbows to characters that don't have it, but this is like overdoing it. He's got pecs, he's got jacked forearms.
He's got like cut shoulders and shit.
Yeah, this is
no, right how this is framed with the sign in the back. He's hot.
So this was kind of neat where he absorbs the whole thing first, then transforms it. Usually kind of happens as he's absorbing it. Whoa.
Did that come out of his foot?
Did that? I think it was supposed to come out of his proto tool. You get one frame where you can see it come out, but it happens so quickly. Yeah, it really looks like it comes out of his foot.
Pathetically, it just...
They put his front pattern on backwards. Yeah, this whole scene, he's just so jacked.
Wait, is that duplication technically?
Yeah, he is still standing there.
That's duplication.
He blorped.
Blorped! Oh my god.
It is kind of neat that he upgraded Rook's proto tool. It's sort of like in line when he upgraded Kevin's car. That's a very boundary crossing thing to do. Now that's an option forever. It is a great design though. This looks friggin' sick.
It's for your own good.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
he
no,
did straight
upgrade
up.
is fully separate.
Yeah, I was gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that this was supposed to disappear and animated wrong, but he's straight up duplicated. There's two different Omnitrixes, two different Mechamorph bodies.
And they both speak.
That power is not on the wiki currently, but it should be.
Add technological duplication, or, in quotes, blorping.
Which one stays when he turns back?
I mean, same thing with Echo Echo.
I like how they got the reflections of Rook in here, and at two different angles.
I'm not sure what happened, Grandpa.
It's almost like the literal villain, like you guessed right off the bat, is doing some crazy shit, Ben. Why are you here and not taking him down?
I would have stuck around and gone back inside, but I thought it was more important to get Rook back here for help.
Accelerate, voop, voop, and then come back.
Now that the Galvans have everything under control, you should go find out who exactly is clowning around.
Exactly. See, even Max knows. Okay, get back out there, buddy.
It's Zombozo.
Zombozo is locked up securely in his cell.
That is a dead body. Did Max know he was gonna say it was Zombozo? He just had that queued up. That's a single button on a remote.
This is the Zombozo button.
The Zom button, if you will. Yeah, no, the cameras are reliable. Remember when Ben was trapped for 2 weeks as Albedo in a cell?
All right, Herbert.
I eagerly inflict you pain.
Poetry 101. He's been trying to better himself with our GED program.
I like that. Trying to reform the prisoners. Can you picture Zombozo sitting in the back of the classroom, though?
He would be the class clown.
I like to imagine Patelade is the one teaching the class.
All right, class, tonight we're gonna be teaching Poetry 101.
And Zombozo's throwing pies at him every time he turns around.
God damn it!
You got blueberries in my gills!
I can't breathe!
Is it a recording then? Like, why did he even need to put Jerry in there?
To be a life form on the scans.
Oh, true. Completely forgot about it because it's so irrelevant. I always like when the transformations have like residual effects on him. He's got to like come back from the mindset of being a Volpomancer.
He's got that dog in him.
Lumber HQ really needs to work on its security, Grandpa.
Yes! Yes, they do!
If even them are saying it, like, what are you gonna do? Holy shit. They're missing the highlights in his eyes. He just looks like a soulless, like, what if Jerry was dead here too?
Why didn't they make him a zombie clown? That would have been a lot easier. You wouldn't have to tie him up.
Turn his mustaches into like those accordion fists or
no,
something.
balloon animal type of thing.
Yes. We haven't seen this exit since like the first 2 episodes.
I love the backgrounds.
They went back and must have done like, what, 20 or 30 like cloud alternate versions of all these characters, and they all look unique and different.
The zombie clown apocalypse now!
Did you see that little snake pop out?
It's like a little Beetlejuice thing. I like
That's
it.
kind of cool.
I hate that. And then it hung on the wire.
That was incredible reaction time. Look at the little ripples go through his limbs.
Texture, like he's coming out of water or something.
Yeah.
I love that. Was that Alien Y?
Yeah, they got Alien Y. He's too powerful now. Oh, he's learned that when he's freezing civilians, only do half of them so they can still breathe.
But also that's gonna give them frostbite.
Yeah, it's terrible either way, but at least he's giving them a chance this time.
You guys stay cool now.
This scene is probably the only important part of the episode.
Go Turbo!
Oh my god, I forgot Spanner's in this episode.
That's his first appearance.
No, they did not put him in the fucking Zombozo episode as a start. Are you kidding me?
That's the one thing that people are gonna be like, oh, but remember that Spanner scene?
Importance is gonna be a 1, only because of this.
I would even argue you could skip this scene too. Like, this really does, it's more of just cool than like needed. But if you think about it, this is season 5, episode 1. They don't reveal Spanner's identity until season 8, episode 9. What did he deflect that shoe with though?
Obscured piece of metal.
Yeah, it's just a piece of metal.
It's most definitely an airborne virus.
It is a virus? Okay, then I hate all of this even more. I was gonna waive all of my issues with how everything worked, just being like, oh, it's magic.
I would still argue that you can have a magic virus. I feel like that can still be a thing. That was a biblical thing, right? The plagues and stuff like that.
The plagues would magically spawn, but it would still be like, you know, a swarm of locusts, and the locusts would be locusts. It's not like the locusts would show up and bite you, and then you turn into a fucking locust wearing a suit and tie. See, like, did this spawn out of his mouth, or was he hiding this and smuggling it in?
Or are those his real teeth, and that's just part of the virus?
I don't know. They should have just called it magic.
I'm still saying
We can't argue with that logic.
because they can't make full sense of it.
Their suits are bullshit because this suit is supposed to be protective. He's about to get infected.
Different size. And then it can fly.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here. So Zombozo's just got a completely different shtick now. He feeds on fear. He creates zombie slaves.
His original gimmick at least felt like a reasonable bad guy plot.
That is kind of neat though. The 10-speed drives right up the stairs.
Welcome, the one and only.
Why is Acid Breath ringleading now? What happened to that mustache guy?
He has the most powerful mouth in the entire crew, so... Everyone's so happy to see him die.
Kill Ben Tennyson. Also, wow, look at the... I don't want to hear people complain jack shit about Ultimate Alien anymore. Look at Bo.
What?
They
could have just reused the crowd shot from earlier.
Bo. This is a good detail, though, how the spotlight's extending his shadow, but gets cut off after the spotlight.
You're slacking off, Zombozo! It's like you're not even trying!
I thought this was the bit of the Rankin Strike versus an army of zombie clowns.
No, we gotta do some bullshit for the next 4 minutes. Get ready.
Let me tell you something, Omnitrix! Sun settings only!
Little guy on the bottom right. Is that a robot or a plumber? I really like his design.
He was in the beginning on the street. Because of that, I imagine he has like a social life, so maybe he's a living being. He's so big. He's so big. The classic series really did do a good job of making it scary. It was clowns, it was circus and everything, but they really played into that eerie, creepy vibe very well. They had like the horror aspect. This is like, I don't know if we're supposed to find this funny or find it creepy, but I don't find it either. Here they are, they're dressed as clowns, they're coming to get you. What am I supposed to think about this?
I think the thing too is in the original series, it was only the one clown guy, and he was like doing hallucinations and really trippy, weird stuff, or like contorting his body to like kind of break the art style a little bit. That's what made it unsettling and creepy. This?
Just kind of something happening.
Let me tell you something, crazy lady! Raph doesn't know how to ride a unicycle!
He's doing damn well for someone who doesn't know how. Fire isn't giving off any light changes right here.
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages!
That's a good one, though. I like that one.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Not a Ben 10 episode without Vor.
Raph has jumped in someone's mouth before, and now someone has jumped in Raph's mouth.
He's way too big right now.
I don't know, because they make, at least in Omniverse, they make Raph huge. The one with the
cat fight?
Yeah, with cat fight.
Right, but like the head being half the size of her body, that's kind of crazy. Look at him right next to her right here. Like, look at the size of that head compared to her body. And he's even a lot more forward, meaning if they were on the same line of perspective. Yeah, but here he's like the size of a, bigger than a lion, like a freaking like small whale, like a baby whale right here.
Oh my god, I just realized kind of why they did the pigtail thing. Are they trying to give her like a Harley Quinn vibe?
See, I thought that too, but maybe they were going to be like, oh, she could be his Harley Quinn since he's already the Joker, but they're doing nothing with that.
Well, no, I don't think like, first off, I don't think you want to present that relationship in like a children's show like this.
No, not relationship-wise, just like the sidekick role. You know, like I'm gonna be like your number two, your support, but that's, you know, they didn't even do that.
Maybe they didn't because it is the trio, and like singling one out would probably feel kind of weird. Elephant just chilling there.
The force of a bowling ball sends him flying backwards, but the force of an elephant, as he's juggling, he can stay completely stationary.
Hey, mysterious green cloud of paper!
That wasn't a let me tell you something, right?
Hey, mysterious green cloud!
Yeah, just a
no,
hey.
that was hey.
Yeah.
But also, how is it mysterious if you just said exactly what it is?
Because he's a fucking...
Blue Woden elbow drop!
Blue Woden?
Elbow drop.
Blue Woden elbow drop!
Okay, that's pretty cool.
The rap is not gonna...
So they got weapons now.
It is tech then, and not a magic virus?
Yeah, no, it's completely tech, and we just have to believe it.
Magic users could also use technology.
Not recommend landing on the ring toss.
Oh my god, did it? Did it? I think it did.
He's rubbing his ass.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so they straight transform.
That's like skin then. So it is a biological, you know what? Fine.
Also, that guy's dressed like SpongeBob.
It's working.
Jesus Christ.
Ditto.
That's a good transformation.
It's a very good one.
Was this in Max's Monster? It is. It's the same one.
Frankenstrike against a whole mob of zombie clowns.
That line is ingrained in my brain, and I don't know why, but I love it. just the line to get their ass kicked.
I need everyone's.
So if making the zombie clown army doesn't make him stronger, then what is his goal?
Right now, it seems like he's stronger-ish than he was previously. And now he's saying, I need everyone's fear.
I think it's because he's dead, now that he is a real zombie. Yeah, like that's gotta be it. He needs fear instead of happiness, and he needs a significant amount to even make a change. Because he's got a whole army right now, and he looks exactly the same. Last laugh, he got like, what, a couple dozen people, and then was at full strength? Sure. But see, the lightning is changing the lighting around him, so I'm still surprised that the fire hoop didn't.
Ready for your very first trip to the circus, Ben?
That was full-on Grandpa just messing with him. They love tormenting this 5-year-old. No wonder that he has this deep fear. I can see a little bit more justification for this. Like, he really wasn't afraid this whole episode until it just got pushed, and then seeing Grandpa Max unlock the fear. It wasn't full-on, like, all of a sudden he's afraid of clowns again. I'll give them that.
He just inflates.
It would have been cool if like his rib cage and everything else repaired too. Max had very rounded fingers, very art style breaking. Everybody has the flat fingers. That's some bullshit. You kidding me? The dial wasn't even popped up. What did this? He's actually like genuinely afraid of him here.
Even earlier, he's like, I can't wait to kick Zombozo's ass. I think what it is, how we were talking about he's suppressing the clown stuff the whole time. Max being a clown unlocked it, and the suppression is gone, so he is terrified of clowns again.
Even if it makes sense, this is still a stupid decision.
This moment here is why I did Topic and Guy as a related thing in And Beyond. I always thought with the the species in the Omnitrix, how they're organized in there, similar species are grouped next to each other, so it got bumped over one spot.
What about the jury rig gray matter nanomet combo from Have I Got a Deal for You?
That's Ben just cycling randomly.
I think he has a different voice here.
This isn't gonna be pretty.
Scared him real easy this time. Just backs up. Yep, Zombozo gets defeated being scared. Is he black and white right now?
Yeah, because anyone that sees Topic's face, loses all their color.
Is that a thing?
No! You stay away!
You are right. And now we see the negative energy. Maybe this mirrors the positive energy. Although, unlike the first 2 times he got scared by Ghost Freak and then Gwen, he blew up. Here, he saw like a cosmic horror and he survived. So does this mean like Ghost Freak's scarier than Topic?
Wait, did he blow up with Anodyne Gwen?
Oh yeah, I guess he didn't blow up.
And that's why I always assumed he got murdered. Gwen straight up killed him or depleted all of his mana, and that's why he's a zombie.
Even so, he's reacting to that a lot stronger than he does to frickin' Topic. He's that afraid of Ghost Freak and Gwen, and then he sees Topic, he should not be able to come back from that. That's his reaction to seeing Topic, but Ghost Freak will cause him to frickin' kill himself.
I actually really like him this like skinnier version. I think it looks more creepy.
This was him supposed to being ejected into the Galactic Monsters arc, but that doesn't happen, so you never see Zombozo again after this.
Here with my fear.
You're okay.
That's it. So for this being the first episode of Season 5, as well as the first breakdown I've done in quite a bit, it does feel unsatisfactory, but still valid to give this plot a 0. Now, a 0 is nothing I give out lightly, but there's so much working against this episode's plot, but that everything I feel it could give a point for is swiftly negated. Comparisons to The Last Laugh alone, this is one of the most by-the-books episodes of storytelling that we've seen in Ben 10. There are no twists, no surprises, and while Zombozo has been around ever since the classic series, a super circus-heavy themed episode of Ben 10 can't hold a candle to the other main genres that Ben 10 typically tackles. Even back when this episode first aired, the idea of a circus is already starting to become outdated, and by now it feels like a relic of its time. The circus trio was brought back for what I assume would be a nostalgic reference to the original Last Laugh, but aside from eating up time, they don't add anything to this. The characterization will get a 1, and that's mostly held up by Ben's self-awareness of this episode, and I do appreciate that if they were going to use Ben's fear of clowns against him, they didn't retcon him getting over his fear, but instead did a pretty decent job setting up him re-unlocking this fear through his deeply rooted trauma as a child being scared of clowns by his family. Although, even though I appreciate that they did try to justify Ben's fear of clowns again in this episode, I can't imagine why they thought it would be a good idea to use that kind of plotline again in the first place. Everyone else in this episode felt like cardboard cutouts of themselves, including the main villain himself, Zombozo, who actually doesn't do anything in this episode. Visuals, this might be a little controversial because I do want to respect and acknowledge the amount of character designs that they did for all of the zombie clown army, and of course, as Ryan was pointing out, the great backgrounds and lighting choices. But given Omniverse is usually always stellar in those categories anyways, character and art design alone aren't the entire visuals category. The clown motifs themselves can only be stretched so far in the world of Ben 10, and they're not exactly the most interesting things to look at. We tackle all sorts of genres with all sorts of characters, but clowns specifically, it just doesn't seem like anybody cares about them, even for those that want to defend Omniverse and all of its glory. When you bring up great Omniverse character designs, this episode is never brought up. It's always more focused on the aliens or some of the weapons, armors, characters, you know, things that people gravitate more towards. Simply put, no one's really as attached to these clown designs to get this episode any higher than a 2 in visuals. Beyond that, there's not a lot of memorable visuals or scenes. Upgrades were pretty cool, but in of itself seemed very one note, as everything he possessed, he pretty much just turned into a gun. Importance, I will give it that 1. This is the final time you see Zombozo, and think of him what you will, he was around since season 1 of Classic, so if you care about his send-off, this is that. We also get our first appearance of Spanner, even though he's not relevant till way later, and in a metasense, this is the first episode of the Galactic Monsters arc, so this could be your introduction to the new theme song. All of these are incredibly generous though. I still really feel like it's just a full-on 0, but I can see the fight to get this a 1. And entertaining, I also will give it that 1. Seeing Spanner was cool, yeah. Clown designs were neat. Sure. And seeing aliens and humans be casual with each other in society for the first time was very gratifying. Other than that, just skip this episode. We'll seal this episode off with a 5 out of 25. It is a low and somewhat harsh score, but this episode really doesn't deserve any more. So as I keep saying, this episode really doesn't have a lot going for it, and since I'm just starting up the breakdowns again, there's not much else I have to say other than check out the 5 Whale and Beyond previews that we put on the channel. So for this final thought segment, we're just gonna go over the polls from the last breakdown. Actually, I did just think of one. Looking at Zombozo's escape pod more, and then knowing that he was going to land in the Endure system, I'm willing to bet that in the alternate timeline where they did have him involved in the arc, he was going to land on the moon, and the moon was going to have some big monster face or something, and it was going to be a reference to the George Méliès film, A Trip to the Moon. I swear to God, like that, they definitely would have done that. For our first poll about the Rust Bucket 3, the most favorable design was from the Ultimate Alien era, the classic green spaceship, though it was by a tight margin, as it was close to being split down the middle, but the UA one still became the victor. What was pretty cut and dry though is everyone's favorite Omniverse Ultimate, which of course is Ultimate Gravitax, back my choice as well, with Ultimate Gray Matter being ranked down the lowest. Still, 6% of people did vote for Ultimate Gray Matter being their favorite. Favorite Omniverse story arc so far is still Malware's Revenge. We've had 4 seasons of content now, but you still can't beat the Blobby Red Man. And unsurprisingly, the most recent arc, Duel of the Duplicates, did drop down to 5%, but it still has its fans. But even then, most people did not like the fact that Albedo was DH for the rest of the series. Though surprisingly, 18% of people liking it still does seem pretty high. Most people would have been fine with Atomics being Ben's second most powerful alien if we had reasons to justify it. The mystery was just not strong enough. If you're gonna make such a bold claim, you gotta have something to back it up. For this breakdown, I do have a nice new batch of polls for y'all to get through. The first one being, which one of Ben's hypothetical world-ending or villainous scenarios would you have liked to seen actually be made into an episode? The second is asking you simply, when's the last time you've been to a circus? The third question is, which is your favorite Zombozo themed episode? The fourth is your favorite of the Circus Freak trio. Pretty standard one, but a worthy question. And the final is based on Zombozo's dropped involvement in the Galactic Monsters arc. Would you have liked to seen him actually land on Enter Transil and be a part of the arc? Let me know what you think in the community tab when this video goes live. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And as always, keep it fizzy. Special thanks to Andrew Analik in the ink cartridge tier, and Elizabeth Susan in the ink barrel tier. Your contributions greatly help out our projects, and we hope you continue to enjoy our content. Thanks again.